Oh, okay. Here I am going live. Oops. I'm live across. Okay, let's get on here. Okay, we are live. Okay. Yep. Now we need to turn down the volume. What else? What else? Okay, we're here. Oh yes, officially, we are live. We are live. So welcome. Get a little. I don't know. I'll see if I see about some light. Okay, so this particular story is okay. So to pick up with the story, um, yeah, they know how to reach out to me. Okay, um, basically, what's going or yes, as you know, what's going on is that it, so the gentleman that we're discussing, um, he's in location is the continent of Africa. He's on the continent of Africa, and you know he's he's an older man, and there's three things that he didn't realize he was petitioning, and the universe did not introduce. That was what's so interesting about this story. Universe doesn't introduce itself, his divine self, her divine self, however it would be, their divine self. There's not an introduction. There's not even a conversation. This is just if it's anything close to you know uh, human, it's like universe is eavesdropping on someone's conversation. Now these things he could be saying out loud. I mean, like maybe vibrationally, or someone in passing, may hear it muttering, but he's sort of saying this out loud. And okay, what is he saying? He's saying a few different things. He specifically is saying because he's remembering when he's a stallion, meaning when he was, you know, easing into his prime, and the life, that he could have had. He wanted, wealth, riches, and uh, to win over, the boss, the executive, particularly and become a part, like a major asset with the company, um, and always celebrated, always spoken very highly of and liked. He that's what he wanted, or well, that's what he wants. And what else? So riches, good with people. Oh yeah, he wants a lot of, like a social influence. He wants influence, and at the end of the day, he wants, a woman. And so what ends up happening is, he just goes about his day. So he just goes about his day, and and his things start to come together. You know, um, he recognizes that, whoa, they're looking for, you know, like, so kind of like on the spot type interview. It's like universe, overheard, and and there was an agreement that is established, but it's an agreement that the man didn't have any sort of, like, something on that he's obligated to do. So it's though it's an agreement, like a, I want to say, like a divine, metaphysical agreement, because he was, when he was, as he was saying the things that he want, he was just putting it out there and openly, and he's just saying that he wanted, like, a job that would give him everything, that would give him riches. So as he's going about, he picked himself up eventually, and he goes about his day. He's in the city, and that's exactly the option or the opportunity. The door opens where they just happen to be welcoming, come in and interview with us. It was just something out of the ordinary, not thinking much of it, and he goes in, like he's on his way there. It's kind of like in passing. The guy could have just said, "Hey," and then a conversation, and then the guy picked up on, "Wait a minute, you look, your appearance right now, you don't look interview prepared, but your mind is actually quite sharp, you know." So like, where you say you're from again, and he's speaking to this man, and this man is just, he's just talking. He doesn't even understand. Like, this guy is not understanding that, uh, this basically, they're at their wits end. They've interviewed all in traditional ways. They've outsourced. Please send us your best. Like, they're moving on. Let us interview with them, and they just weren't finding the talent they were looking for. So they were like, if anybody want to come in, anybody, like open house, come on in, open interview, come in. You don't have to schedule. We're not gonna say go online. And first of all, the minimal education. By the way, the man is educated. He is educated. He is university. He's just, life happens. Life happened, and he, and it, rock bottom. He just kept going. He went through the floor. So, but at the same time, he has this sort of nature about him that you could tell that he has education. You could tell that once somewhere in his life he had it together. And so but they're not looking at him like being spiritually poor. He's not. He's mentally, uh, stable. Like, he's mentally, it's like he gives the idea of having it together. Outwardly, maybe not so much. He's not. He's definitely not dressed for the type of interview that he's unaware of the interview, that there's even an interview, or that even if he saw that there was an interview, he's not thinking that he's ready. He knows he's not ready, for the interview. And if there were an interview going on, they would have to, kind of like a presumptuously, somehow think that he's here for the position. So that's how they kind of met. He's like moving about. He's seeing what's about the city. He's seeing if anybody's dropping any money. He's going into a location, maybe, to get some nice cool water, you know, some, or just to kind of, have, enter into a nice place. He knows he only, he's on borrowed time the moment that they spot him. But guess what? Security didn't come and check him, and they don't even know him. No, this time the he was intercepted and just in a conversation. No one, came up and said, "Is this man bothering you, sir? You know, can I help you? You know, the door." You're like, you don't need me. You don't need me to show you the door, right? Like the door, sir. You know, no, none of that happened. It was just everybody's going about their walk. He's there, and he doesn't look like he belongs there. He doesn't, he's not giving anything extra except one thing. At this time in space, his higher, you want to say his educational uh, aspect of himself was taking over. Like he's still smart, he can't, that is not separate. That is always with him. And so he's talking with the guy, and the guy is literally giving him an interview on the spot. Literally, like he's asking him questions and what he do in certain circumstances. He didn't ask him, well, what university you attend. Like, okay, where'd you get all your information? He's just asking him, right, like, okay, if you're in this position, hey, can I ask you something real quick? Kind of like situation. Oh, sir, how? Um, he's like, now he probably said, oh, what the Hades? Hey, let me ask you something. If you're in this position, what would you do? The guy said, what, me? He said, well, I would speak with the client first, and then I would see what the client, well, what the client had to offer. Then I would assess it, and then I would suggest what we have to offer. Then I would say, let me get back with you. They already have something tangible and something already wonderful that they could get. Then I would go to my boss, and I would say, boss, we are prepared to do this, but I think we can do better. This client can do far much more of an investment as an investor. We just have to have the ability to match what we're bringing and better. And then the boss would agree. I would go and sell it back to the client. He's like, wow, that's pretty smart. And he says, yeah, no, yeah, I would win. I'd win in both ways. I would get paid with my client with the commissions, and then I get paid with my boss because my boss would be happy that he's got a big client on the, like it would be a total meal ticket from two different ways. I work both of them. He's like, oh, really? And he's like, well, how about I ask you this? So we just kept asking him questions like, what would you do in this position? And so it's like, hey, can I invite you up? You look like you can use a meal. He's like, I'm, no funny business. No, I just want to be left up. No, 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 no. Come on in. You know, uh, you like drinks, right? We have the good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Private space. You can have an office. We have offices. Yeah, 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 yeah. So he's on his way up on the elevator, to the suite. And of course, universe, he's not is undiscovered. He doesn't even know anything like universe, spiritual. That's not what this is about. This is about a man who is just on any given day was just like, I want to be rich. I want I want wealth, and I want to be in good standing. I want to be celebrated by like an executive, not a man, like an executive. I want to be liked. And then he started saying, he started realizing, he's on the street, he's by himself. He's like, oh yes, and he would like the warmth of a woman. He would like love and affection, the affections, return the affections throughout the night until the wee early hours in the morning. He wants all of that. And all that again, specifically, and all that wealth has to bring him. He's thinking wealth would definitely get him all these things, including affection. So he's not even thinking he promises, to cherish the companion that you know God puts him with. He's not even saying that. That's not even his thinking. That's not even his mind. But anyway, he's on his way up. So that's the next. Okay, this is the next stage of the story. This is what's going on. Oh gosh. So yeah, so they're in a conversation, and the man, who is, who's rough off at the moment. He doesn't know what he's in for, and he is it's not dawn on him that there's, he's not an opera. At least right now, he's not thinking like being an opportunist. Like, why, you have a job for me? He's not thinking, oh, am I walking into an interview, or am I like, are you some kind of businessman who's helping people down on their luck, and giving them a fresh start, and giving them an office, and giving them a position in your company, and giving them a salary. That's not what I'm really looking for. He's not even putting out there the universe that he's not looking for a handout. He's definitely not into any funny business. So, like, he's tired. He's like, I just, like, I don't, like, just let me be, and I'll be on my way. Skip me, don't do me, skip me. But that's not what this is. So he's on his way. He sat down. He's brought the company sandwiches, because they get catered in, so all the people can come and and grab sandwiches. And so he's having a meal. Like, this is supposed to be person's lunch, to kind of nourish them throughout through the day. No, he's having a meal, a full on. But the executive, this guy is an executive. He just hasn't say, oh, by the way, I'm an executive. But he does, besides the obvious, hey, you get around, yeah, this will be your office, and anything you need, I'll be here. Um, he says, I don't have anywhere to go, but I need to go. Hey, I thank you kindly for the meal. I'm gonna take a few of these with me, if you don't mind. Oh, sure, have as many as you like. So where you heading off to? Hey, that's my business. I get around. You know, you think we'll run into each other again? Don't hold me to that. I don't keep promises, and I'm not looking to meet friends. I'm not looking for that. And he says, well, yeah, like, where do you work? It's like, he started explaining the position. He said, well, you sound pretty. He's like, I'm too smart. Uh, I'm more like, you'd be your own boss. You'd be working under me, of course, but directly with me. But you would be your own boss, and we would be in a partnership. And he says, okay, well, well, I'm gonna go. He's got this all his hands is full of sandwiches, and he's like, no, actually, because he's trying to decide how he's gonna put them in a bag. His bag is full of already things, from whatnot, things that he has. He says, no, actually, just sit here, think about it, and throughout the night, stay here. Yeah. The chair is comfortable, right? He has the executive chair, but the black one that's really fluffy, and it's like when we first sat down, he was like, "Hmm, like and he's like he thought he'd go take the little like this chair, right, little chair. He's like, no, 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 have a seat. Like he was thinking he was sitting in his chair. It's like, oh, have a seat, have a seat. Yeah, they come with the office. It's okay. And so he's like standing there and the hands in his pocket. He's like sizing them up. He's saying like, how to get like this guy just fell out of the sky. He's smart. He could get cleaned up a little bit. We could work on that. Of course, that's also part of the gentleman, the guy that's from the street. He was also putting out to the universe that he wanted to be a stallion. He wanted to because he's looking and he's saying, he's a little older. Okay, one second. A pleasure, Donald here. Okay. A pleasure. I'm Donald. Good to speak with you today. So you have a question about our psychic reading. Well, let's take a look and see what comes up for you and get you on your way with some wonderful information from the spirit world. So what I can see in this space is that you will have the ability to, well, this is about your vision, but you're actually seeing what is like what is practical, what you can actually do. Like it's you're starting to see what you actually can do versus then what like wishful thinking. It feels like it feels when I look into this, this is a place where people can be nostalgic, even a bit dreamy, and they have these ideas, but they're like, yeah, that would be nice someday. Maybe, who knows? But now it's becoming, well, this is what I actually can do to bring this to manifestation. Because the next symbols here represent, I see you holding finances, holding your finances, by the way. And this is the highest vibration. Usually people is where people would say have the money to invest in their ideals. So I do feel like there's maybe, I'm also picking up on a mission as well. You seem to be on a mission, or kind of like, well, in my reading, they describe you like getting some kind of like a project, but this is a good level, like a high, like a the standard is high. I mean, and it seems like there's already an agreement that's supportive to this direction. It feels very much that it's well planned out, it's well thought out, like according to plan, things are following through, you're following up, people are aligned with it, are on board with it. The path number here is the digit two, kind of like people who work in pairs. So maybe one-on-one ideas, but definitely these would be more like a partnership. I'm also seeing another. Okay, so the dynamics here seem to be, perhaps another woman, but in terms of like lateral, I feel like it's lateral behind, what they call it, but like meetings, private, something that's private or negotiated. So something major is happening, I believe. But a lot of this is described as like money making, being focused, moving forward, taking advantage, advantageous type of connections is what I'm looking at. But this is a very practical time. It's not very emotional here. It's very much like it's about, of course, making investments work or utilizing your time with the partnership and then making money together. So it's very much very business-like and nothing more than that. It's just that you have this sense of working really well in this dynamic at the moment. So Scorpios are your friend. People who like, because it's a lot of managing either other people's time and space or projects or something like that. But also people maybe work with someone who does the same thing. Other like work well with other people's money, so to speak. And of course, you have a powerful symbol for the Mars. So this is more the active side of Scorpio. Scorpio at times can be feminine. This is, but it's both. It's like fire and ice. So this is more the fiery, more the what do you call it? More stronger, forceful side of Scorpio that allows for business transactions, but without the toxic, without the because sometimes well, that can be a bit of some can I trust this space? So this space, right? This space does not seem to have that latent darker vibration. That's not active this time, so that's good. You have the higher vibrations or qualities happening with this sign. So it's gonna something that works um, in the dynamic. But also this represents okay. So there's in some independent elements like working. Somehow you end up working so on a project by yourself in some context. So it might be that you have your part to do, and then working with others. It may kind of plan out like that, the way it comes out. Although you're working with someone technically, but I see you having to do a part. Oh wow! I had a feeling that there was a Scorpio element and a Leo vibration. So they're saying here that it's your personality. Like this is your time to allow people to see your personality. You're putting that energy out there, so to speak, and that's also very helpful to bringing in that good energy. Uh, like in terms of like working with others, but sometimes you work with a group. Sometimes you work with a few people. Yours is like one-on-one situations. You'll work better. Like it might be two people, but one might get up and keep walking around and you're primarily focused on just one of the two. So it's always gonna, so for now, I mean, for now in this season, that's the way it's gonna play out. Oh, by the way, they said this goes all the way into August, into the August vibration. So, and the way that they're described now, the solar time has a lot to do with the next sign over, which is a sign for Cancer. But in the kind of like what they call it in the astro theming section, that doesn't start until the end of these few weeks that we have in July. So this is something that's happening this week and the next, this week and the next, but it's less than 2 weeks though. But definitely we have like the maybe the 5 working days, and then some of the days maybe half of the week for next week that these types of conversations are happening. They seem to happen out of nowhere, but close proximity. So I'm imagining they're happening in the realm of the workplace or in the workspace is where they are, which is just saying, well, firstly, career is happening. This is these are things about career, but now let's go into the emotional section. So I won't spend all the time in that area. Of course, if you have any questions, we can also go look into those spaces. So we'll see what's very quickly, just what's going on in terms of, who's coming in, maybe recreationally. So what I could see in this round is that you are in this space of, okay. Well, this is definitely more like what the way things will be as you start to work with August energy. It feels like you're in a comfortable space to consider. Like I see a lot of time to think about the types of like love attachments that you want to create, like in terms of getting involved with anyone. There's plenty of time for you to sort of test the waters a bit. But I do see a synchronicity on its way once you've made your decision. But it's like a waiting game. This is the way that I would love, like especially this week, that not necessarily waiting to see what another person does, but that you're quite active and you're having your time to yourself, and you're getting out there and you're enjoying, like the weekend, for example. You're out there with some girlfriends or a friend or a nice guy friend, however it would go, but you're not necessarily waiting because they're going to come anyway. The person, is going, who's meant to sync with you, they're going to anyway. And then the attachment happens, and then they also mentioned that you're not even rushing relationship necessarily. Like, like I see that you said, okay, before you agree or say yes, even if it's especially when you know it's a date, you're like, well, give me a day to figure some things out, or and that's where it's code for. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. Let me get back with you. But then I see it happen. I see that you do agree, and then I see a love connection. So they're showing the heart, and I believe that this is what we call an intimate connection. So it's somebody whom you're going to be physically attracted to, is physically, of course, attracted to you and drawn to you. I'm also picking up the day Thursday. So there's some activity with a different person whom you're going to meet. I'm not sure if this person has made himself themselves known yet, but I'm picking up Thursday, next Thursday, not this Thursday, upcoming, but the following Thursday. I'm seeing that. Oh, the final two pieces here. I know you have questions, but the final two pieces here is they said if you go with it, kind of like what you're meant to do this week, you're meant to just enjoy yourself, be in good company. Let the people come and syncing with you. Let them come to you, and they will. You're in the wonderful safe space for it to happen. But we don't need to be safe space and idle or bored or anything. We're supposed to be enjoying the moment because right now you are the sun. Kind of like people will gravitate to you, a little bit of help in that Scorpio Leo connection that you got going on. That also helps with career as well. People will want to kind of create little partnerships that can make them well into the territory of relationships as well, like choosing a partner. Okay, so they said to then kind of like go with it, enjoy it. That's the karmic. That's the experience. They say the life experience. Okay, so I'll yield there. But yes, you have some interesting things happening for you over the next within the 2 weeks time frame to bring in August. A pleasure. Good luck to you and everything you do. Okay. Oh yes, I've got to tell you, stay on Facebook. Yeah, you got to stay on Facebook though. Okay. Uh, so let's see. Let me get my card shuffled a bit here, so I can start over. Yeah, she's got an interesting pathway, but she's supposed to kind of get out there a little bit. Okay. Oh, so the guy agrees. So the guy agrees to stay. He agrees to stay. Well, it's not even saying, oh yeah, you need to you can stay. Maybe think about it for a few hours. You can stay till 10, Take your time. It was pretty. Like, it was kind of put out there that no, you're fine. Think about it here. You know, this is where you will be working. Look around. Would it be nice? You know, you'll cut. You would start. You know, and you'd have an enter for me in the morning. Um, okay, I'll get back. Okay, okay. Well, let me think about. I'll get back with. No, no. Think about it here. Just relax. Sit there. Think about it. Um, and I'll come back in the morning. You'll have your answer. You give me your answer. By the way, security will know everything that you hear, and will you're going to be safe. You're fine. So he's there. Uh, will there be anything else? Mister. As the exec is, you know, leaving for the evening. That'll be fine. Make sure my clients has everything he needs. He's okay. All right. All right. All right. Make sure that everything's locked up. All right. So he leaves. He gets on the elevator. Elevator closes. The guy just says, he shakes his head. He's a strange guy. And it's not even like he's saying, okay, now what anything of value in here? He's not even doing, he's actually seriously and, very much, with an open mind, considering that maybe, maybe I should think about this. He's not even dawning on him that, wow, universe is like, or something is opened up for me. So that I was just talking about this. He's not tying it in, like, oh, I'm going to thank universe later. He's not even contemplating that this has anything to do with anything metaphysical or spiritual or supernatural. He doesn't think oh wow, my prayers are answered. I'm gonna be a changed person. He's not thinking like that. By the way, this guy is not a bad guy. I know I keep almost. He's not a jerk either. He's not a jerk. He's not a bad guy. He's just hasn't really thought maybe thought things through completely. Um, he's like he reminds okay, personality wise, he reminds you of that person who like you feel that this person should be able to see um like activity around that can't be explained, but the one that always said, what are you all talking about? And everyone else in the room is saying, did you see that? Did you hear that? Did you feel that? He's the one that's saying, what are you all talking about? This man could sleep in a haunted house, and if you put bets on him, he'd probably come out in the morning and said, that was fantastic. You all should have left the bottle, like I slept like a wee little baby. Where's my money? Because like he just it's not that he doesn't believe. It's not something like, something that happens right in front of him, and it's just that he's just not thinking about it. He's not plugged in like that. So anyway, so he's not in a haunted house. He's just in an executive office. Actually, he's in his executive office. He just hasn't recognized it yet. He doesn't know that definitively yet. He still has to it speak with the executive. By the way, he doesn't even know that the guy is the executive of the company. He just said, you'll be working with me, under me. He doesn't know that he's speaking to the executive. By the way, he's putting out to the universe. He didn't even know he's putting out to the universe. He was just speaking and saying that he wanted to be elbow to elbow with Big Machismo. With, with the big guy. He wanted to be there with the big guy. But he didn't consider that he would actually meet the big a guy that happens to be in the positioning of an executive, and would invite him up and kind of just literally open the the pathway to moving right into a position with no competition. Like you would think this executive is not very smart. How is he like his like he must be new, green behind the ears, green eared, and his stocks are gonna plummet. You would think he'll lose his business in 6 months, operating like this. But that's not a conversation, by the way. The executive is smart, which you'll come to find out. Spoiler alerting, the executive is actually very hard up, hard nosed, business, shrewd. He truly is an executive as you get to know him. And he has high expectations, which he will go on to have expectations of the gentleman who's going to take the job. He's going to take the job because you don't know what else does he have. He has his nice chair that he's currently sitting in, and he has a very hard pavement. He has a pavement, a hard pavement in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, and right now, being that it's the middle of the night, he has all the sandwiches that he can eat, and to get him through the all the way into morning, and he's still eating sandwiches for breakfast. A nice executive chair. I mean, the big ones, the big ones. He just sinks right into. He has that, and he has the ear of someone who literally can like is giving it with more guarantee than not a placement within the company that would then it would afford him to he's not even not even thinking long term. It would definitely put money in his pocket. He's not an alcoholic, by the way, so he's not. I mean, at least we don't see him as such. He's not like, and this is not like a what do you call it, an intervention moment. Like if you get your act together, you could have your old life back. Who knows? You'll never know unless you start. But first you got to put down the bottle. This is not him. He doesn't have that as an issue. So he's not a drunkard. He's not drunken himself into a stupor. He doesn't really have an addiction. But is he knowledgeable about the world? Yes. So he may know what certain things can do. He may have maybe in his once upon a time when he had this life, maybe he tried some things, some things. Uh, Clearly, part of the deal was that there were drinks upstairs, you know, of the adult beverage because he could have there's water downstairs, the water machine. So he wasn't talking about water, obviously, and this is an office, so yeah, he was made a drink. The drinks were he could make himself a drink, but he's not. It's not about a man who's an alcoholic, who's on the streets, who's smart, who might can turn his life around. That's not his story. Um, so so he leans back, kind of lets his bag kind of lean against his big desk because he also has a desk, and he sets the sandwiches in front of him. He's looking because he can eat up. He, he's grubbing, and he's looking about. Oh, by the way, he has a nice view of the city. Yeah, it looks it all the lights of the city is on. He's sitting there. It's kind of it's dark. The lights are dim, like maybe one or two, because you could turn up the intensity. He could turn a little lamp light, and he's just sitting there, and It's quiet. You can hear, him, rubbing up, like against the leather, fine leather of his chair. It's an executive chair. It's pretty much, it feels like he's sitting in a big pillow, basically. And he's just, you know, taking it all in. Um, but right now he's just thinking about, if, he's either sit here for a minute or he can go lay on the concrete. He can go back to where he was, which was when we found him, when we discovered him, he was kind of like squatting behind a big, kind of like a side of the building, or like just a big rock in a park. But oh, he was universe is around him. That's the symbol of that thumbnail. That universe is around him, and at the he just didn't recognize. He didn't understand. He still doesn't understand why. Like, why is this guy like leaving him alone in his office? Sounds kind of careless, or that the executive isn't right, like into some dirty stuff. But he's not thinking like in a sense of, oh boy, I better get away from this weirdo as far as I can get. A weirdo and power and money. I don't need to be here. He's just a man from the streets. No, they not even. That's not even a conversation. Like, he absolutely ends up. Um, it's kind of like when he was saying out to the universe, I wanted, oh yeah, I wanted an executive. I want a boss who's like an executive who is like the boss, and I want to win that boss over, his affections, and for him to celebrate me and tell me how great a job I'm doing, and like how worth it that he's paying me a lot of money, and that he wants me, and he's gonna make me even wealthier. Give me even more money, give me even more incentive, give me bigger commission payouts, and give me even, he says, and uh, perks, you know, whatever all the perks along. Like, that's what he was putting out to the universe. So it's not dawning on him that this guy is doing exactly that. That he's won over this. He's not thinking. He's not even thinking like, wait a minute. I was talking about how I wanted, like esteem. I wanted to win over the exact. I wanted everything that I could have. I wanted, access, to food, uh, drinks, and and he's not thinking like that. That he's not even like, wow, did I manifest that? That that is not even on his radar right now. Right now, he just, like, his senses are just realizing that how right now how good life feels, being in the position that he's in, being that he's in the physical. He's taking the physical senses. So he stayed. So that's that part, and we'll definitely get to we'll get to the other part. We'll get to more of the story. We'll get to it. Hmm. Yeah. So a little bit about, okay. Um, the exact actually is definitely a big firm. It's huge. Um, Much bigger than even what the man can realize. The type of money that they make. That's why this executive is, like, the only limitations that he has on him in this story is his imagination. He really believes he can walk up to this random guy and and said, I want what you have between your ears, these ears, the brain. I want your brain. I want your mind. So he, in his imagination, that he can afford anything he's imagining, he's saying, I want that brain on these projects working for me and having results on my desk and and quadruple my our intake. That's the way it is like, and I'm gonna buy it. That's the way he's thinking. So he's you know he's used to like people with like people have a green thumb. He has a the gold touch. Everything he touches turns to gold. And so like failing, he will buy the success. He will buy it. So he's not thinking, oh gosh, I got this guy in here. He fails, I can go under. He's not thinking that. Oh, like why would I spend so much money on this guy? I could bring in an intern who knows all the latest information and software tech. He's like, this guy has something I want. I want it, I buy it. So I buy this. I just bought this guy straight out. Like he's thinking like, okay, this guy, we're gonna put him to use, and he's gonna seize the moment. He's gonna seize the opportunity. He cannot refuse because he's a business. He's exactly a business guy. This guy cannot refuse. The guy is so down to earth and practical. They go hand in hand. Like the guy that's practical, he says, "There's no way that this can't go through because he would have the guy I mean who's from the streets, he would have checked all the check boxes. He would know exactly how to make the project successful because he's so pragmatic, and it would be seen through. He has such brilliant genius ideas that are like almost like common sense to him, and the which it impressed the exec who says, I'm willing to purchase everything and then one of these ideas will work. But this pragmatic guy is like, I know which one of the ideas will work. But it's not about like I can save you money. It's more like it's not even about that. It's about I know it. So why waste? Why are you going this long route? I know like direct beeline and get a hold of the success, the pathway to success, and then I'm going to be paid a lot of money because I'm right, and you're going to be the one paying it. That's him. And not only you're going to pay me, but they're going to pay me the client. People who I'm involved with, I'm going to get my commission, but you're going to love this idea so much. So yeah, so he's so confident in this. It's not what do you call it? It's not conventional thinking. You could get your commission, be happy, and you better excel above expectations. So you fall below, yeah, we'll just let you go. But no, this guy doesn't know anything like that. No, his mind doesn't even work like that. So he's a what do you call it? A big believer, and just like the exec is not intimidated. He's not offended. He's like, like mind your wording, mind your manners. Hey, I'm the boss. I'm a boss. I'm an exec. Hey, what do you mean? You're gonna outperform, and you're therefore just you're gonna kind of make us be in a position to pay you more. Like that is what's required for you to do, above and beyond to keep the job. That goes with keeping the job. He's like, the guy who's practical is not even thinking like that. That's not even like, and the executive is not thinking he should think like that. The executive is like, he's already demonstrated that he has one like genius ideas, and that exec understands. So they have sort of like a bit of a bridge, like their personalities kind of like match, like it matches. So he's definitely thinking, then that's what he's gonna want to do. He's gonna want to hire this guy and allow him to use his talents, and and like see what happens if he puts his talents into these situations where, all right, you've got the talent, but can you use it? Can you channel skill with the talent? Can you do it skillfully? Which he's already discovered. Like he asked very specific questions. So in this circumstance, you got the talent to get the ear of people. Clearly, you got the ear of you got me had my ears, but okay. But in this situation, so far as getting them to sign, how would you? Well, I would propose to them an idea that they're already loving, and then come back and match it. Like for example, and then I would get the signature, and you would pay me more because I did it. So he said that of course I'd be paid more, and of course I would get that commission. So that's the way he said it. But the exec wasn't offended. He was like, "Oh, really?" Like that's a but he paid more attention to the brilliance of how he would handle certain circumstances. That he said that's the kind of guy I'm really looking for. Like usually you have to work up to that conversation. It's like where you go to school, where you interning from, what do you intend to do? See yourself in the company for 7 years from now. Is you short term, long term, as in you're married and you're gonna have kids, you're gonna settle down. Oh, okay, nice neighborhood. Instead of having conversations like that, he's like, okay, you sound like your life is you're consistent. You're nice and grounded. You have somebody who grounds you pretty well. Okay, and you manage a life. You actually manage a life because you can't. I mean, how are you gonna manage this office? You can't manage your life. It's like for like he didn't say, "Hey, get a house first." He didn't say any of that. He knows a guy is. I mean, he's not making it a big deal right now. He's like, I'm I want to try something different. I've tried conventional. I want to try something unconventional. And so he's looking at this guy. He's not making a big deal out of the fact that he just pulled this random guy off the streets. And clearly, obviously, there's suspicion. Like you're taking a lot of sandwiches, like a sandwich or two, because But then it's like, okay, like you're eating those sandwiches like it's gourmet. It's catered. Don't get me wrong, but like gourmet, I mean that's a little bit of a stretch. Gourmet meal, I mean that's what I'm putting out. So, but anyway, that wasn't a big deal. He didn't lose like genius ideas over etiquette. you know, um, yeah, he talked. So it wasn't even even the interview in itself is not conventional. It's more like two people just talking casually. So he's landing this office by speaking casually without any expectations whatsoever, just answering questions. And he is light, just like he put out there into the universe without the knowledge of that he's doing this. So uh, anyway, that's a little bit about the executive, like the correlation. Like, okay, well, how did he gain entrance into society before meeting this woman he's going to meet in the on another continent? Right now, she's in Europe, right at the moment, just living her life. And I had to explain, okay, if she's in Europe, how did she meet this dude? Like, what's up with that? we're gonna get there. How they meet. We kind of gave it away in the first live about this. Um, I'll remember this story. It offers metaphysical healing, so that's why we're doing. Also, it offers insight, wisdom through the because as we're channeling these individuals' lives, spirit is coming in and talking. The guides are talking, so they're channeling wisdom, like keys to life, keys, wisdom keys. So that's there you go. There you go. Mhm. Okay. Yes. I I gotta do a shuffle. I feel like my cards get a nice little shuffle. And we'll check back on the guy. They're gonna have a conversation in the morning. So so it's evening right now. That's where we're left off. The exec has gone home. So only those in the building should be in the building, or people downstairs. Security, something like that. At least on this floor. And the guy, he's having sandwiches, company sandwiches, and things like that, and just relaxing. So he's safe, he's fine, and don't worry. The meeting between he and this woman in the future, it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. It sounds like universe has a lot in play here. Just getting this card shuffled. Nice little shuffles, good, healthy for the cards. That way we get probability, a head start. Oh, by the way, y'all are like, okay, so the first video of this story, y'all are like blessing me with a lot of watch time hours. Thank you. And all the views I'm getting, it has over 100 views. Thank you. Wow. Organic too. All real. Those are all organic, all real views. So yeah, somebody's watching. Yeah, trust me, I am looking to see how did I get this to you all? How did I get that story or that particular live? Trust me, I'm looking. I'm observing. Okay, so like, what did I do? What did I say? What did I do to get that to you? Yeah. Wow. Look at all those blue lines. Thank you. Looks pretty. Oh wow, and people are still watching the video. So beautiful. I'm not joking. I'm, I'm still kind of, don't make fun of me. I don't want to show you my numbers, but isn't that pretty? That's a lot. You know that's a lot for me. All those beautiful blue lines. You know that doesn't happen for me every day. Mhm. I'm gonna just be patient, see what how I want to know how well it's gonna do. I'm also if I'm going viral in slow motion. Right now I have on TikTok I have um let me see how close it is. It's reaching 90,000 mark soon. It's one video, but then if they're checking out the other ones, you know what I mean? So I guess it's I guess see I have to take things literal. Like when y'all say, yeah, it only takes one video. So magically one video of mine goes viral that then the other videos happen and then like so it like I take things literal. I call it snake eye effect. I'm a snake, so yeah, that's the snake eye effect. Oh wow, yeah. Four more thousand, and I'll be in the 90,000 mark. So yeah, that video, to me, it looks like it's gonna break. I'm still can't believe it. I don't even want to say it out loud, but it looks like it's going to break the six-figure mark. And when that does, oh, and people are commenting like crazy on that. Um, I try to answer, I try to, when people have like a legit question or statement, I do answer. And, I try to, make everyone feel, included. I'm very grateful um, that they're getting something out of that video. And then on the occasion, I see like the other videos are also liked as well. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. And then out of nowhere, over this like over the past 24 hours. I wasn't I wasn't looking for in anything, and then I checked and I said, "Oh my gosh, there are people watching the video." And then um, then I kept checking back, and every time I did, it was like other people are watching and other people, and I'm like, it's doing something. Now it's in the morning. Now it's like whatever you see on your side is like, to me, it's a lot of views because I'm thinking in my brain. Okay, so I grew up. My first career was doing live performances, and so I understand what 100 people in a room looks like. So I understand, but that's a lot to me. That's to this day. That's a lot of people. So like, so it blows my mind when I have like some videos. I have like 11,000, over 11,000, I guess, views. So when I'm thinking 11,000, I'm thinking 11,000 people in kind of like a performance, and they're all like in my brain. Like I know they're not all looking at the same time. The internet, everybody having either watching, or they're watching at different times, but the idea still is mind-boggling. So anyway, 100. The fact that it's over 100, um, to me, I feel like I'm doing excellent. You're like, wow, that's excellent. And it's still going. It's still going. All right. Um, Okay. What? What? Oh yeah, this is Monday. Um, okay. They're just now finding out that Mundandi is actually from Africa, Uganda. They've been treating him like he's from North Africa. They're just now finding out. It says Mdandi travels to Uganda in break from mayoral campaign. He said Monday is currently on his way to Uganda, and it's got the little sweaty, the bead of sweat smile, like smiling, and then it says, uh, Mdandi travels to Uganda in break from mayoral campaign. Zoran Mdandi, the Democratic nominee for mayor of New York, said that he and his wife were going to the African country where he was born to celebrate their recent marriage. They just they just now figuring y'all are they late as Hades. Y'all are so late. Oh my gosh. I've been put that in somebody's chat box. I said, by the way, he's Ugandhi. He's African. They're like this Palestinian, this Arab man, this North African American white man, Palestinian running for mayor in Europe. He's from Africa. He's from the tent is he's from African country Uganda. He is he is African. Oh, life is just so bittersweet. Oh gosh, life is so bitter. Yes. Uh, chase that down with a Jack Daniels. Shot of Jack Daniels, please. Oh gosh, vengeance, so tantalizing. Vengeance is mine. Oh, that was so good. I told you, life karma knows how to punish better. You all thought you guys could come up with punishments. You're not even close. Gosh. None of you all would have thought about that. None of you thought about it. You're just now finding out. I'm tripping on that. I'm like, I put that in chat box. You didn't believe me? You had to wait and find out. Oh boy. Oh, by the way, congrats to their union. And they seem to be doing this in love, so congrats. So life is so good. So um the other conversations um right now is that I think that people are coming to terms with just how safe it is to be, um, at least definitely to be in America. It's pretty safe, which I love that my client and everybody around my client have the opportunity to come to see that the information that they're being fed. Oh, by the way, they said, we don't have coffee like this. They do. They're not looking in the right place. But they say, but I think they like the espresso. Like, the best espresso I ever has. Like, so you try something so good, it brings tears to your eyes. It's so delicious. Like you have a dessert, you go to somebody's dessert. You know what I'm talking about. And they're like, what type of dessert is this? German chocolate cake, type of situation. You, so she come over here and was like, "This is the best latte I ever had." She talked about the cappuccinos. I'm pretty sure the traps, cappuccinos, cappuccino. All the caramel macchiatos. They're like, we don't have. It's like an espresso. You want espresso in that? Come on, it was so sweet. I was like, it's yep. He's like, I don't have those. I mean, well, they kind of they do. Well, okay. To be fair, they have it at the airport. They have it. So in my brain, I just maybe she's just not. You know, you do kind of gotta. Yeah, it's a everything seems to be everything's a mystery over there. Everything is hidden. You gotta read the wall. Everything in plain sight. You got the frat mixer. The different. Then you have like the different color schemes and patterns, and you gotta read the wall, and you gotta press the third brick. You gotta put your left hand on the third brick. It's everything is a very secret. Hmm. I think they have it. I'm gonna look. Let me Google it. Hold on, I'm gonna use my phone to Google it. Maybe she's. I'm thinking they did it because I thought at the airport. Let me see. Um, Well, now she knows what it's called. I'm not gonna press her about anything, but I'm just want to just check. Yeah, they do. They do too. It's even pretty. They got it. It's even got the heart on it and everything. She just, you gotta join the order. So, yeah, Mr. Cappuccino at that. They got Cappuccino Art Cafe. They got Kinko Cafe Coffee House. See, she just had to know where to go. She didn't know about it. That's the thing. They don't know about a lot of things. Now she went over there. Now she knows about these things. Now she can go home and oh, by the way, she's just now learning about, what the smartphones can do. So it's like, you're now she's lived nice life without all of the without the foo-foo. Like she has the money of a foo-foo life. Imagine that. But she doesn't live a foo-foo life. So now she went over to a foo-foo environment and she got around and she foo-fooing around and stumbled across and found cappuccinos. Oh, they're like she discovered cappuccinos, espressos. She just calls it a coffee, but I'm like, what that, she's like, I'm ashamed. I've never had a caramel macchiato before. She's like, yeah, it's coffee. It's like, it's sweet and syrupy. Yeah, she's like, it's sweet. Oh my gosh, we don't have that in, like, yes, you do. You just, if everything wasn't such so secret, you would know exactly where to go. But it's okay. She's figuring it out, and it's beautiful when people are discovering beautiful things in life. And I caught her before she got lost because she was getting ready to say, "Oh my gosh, I should have, like 10 years ago." I was like, "No, no, 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 no." I was instructed last year to tell you all you found and discovered everything you're discovering precisely at the right time, and universe will give you your time back. How that? Well, the way the universe does it is everything you could do then, you can do now. Ladies is in fit. She's got all the energy in the world. Whatever she could do, whatever she was doing, she's doing that same activities today. And the time that she would spend doing those, enjoying those activities, you got to realize, well, for how long would you enjoy this? Okay, you say, I wish 10 years ago I would have done that. 10 years ago you would have done that. How long you would have stayed with it? And then next what you would have done? What next adventure would you have taken up? Okay, so you say in that you would say what, 10 years, 15? Oh, 15 years. You would dedicate yourself to that project had it happened 10 years ago. Okay, it happens now. The way it's read is all the energy you can do. You can still jump through hoops of fire and flip and do flips and backflips. Okay, you can still do that, right? You can still do that today. You still do that. Okay, and for the next 15 years, you have all your energy. Yeah, but one difference. Everything you needed to know to fill the position, you're and all the people, the right people you needed to align with your ideas are present. So that's why I feel so magical. That's why people say, "Oh, I feel like it's like you're receiving everything at once." Your naturally human response is, "I wish this would have happened. I'm here so late, and what if they don't want me?" And because no, you arrived right on time, and you have all the time in the world to participate in life. So right now, she said, "I'm gonna call you next Friday." Yeah, she like, "I'm gonna call you about a week." She like, right now, She's enjoying that California sun. She doesn't want to be bothered. And she's even getting a little something done, you know what I mean? Like she's self-care. Before she was like, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Now she's living life. So that's what I mean. I don't talk to people to talk to them for 6 months on the same subject and they keep calling me. I don't work like that. That's the practitioner. They put into practice the things of practitioners and then they become practitioners. Living life, living their life. And when they need me, new things come up, they talk to me. Yeah, I enjoyed that conversation. All the things in the world has reached her, along with my other people too. They're busy living life. Uh, my clients is going viral on and getting attention where people like she wants to enter contests now. Now she's at the place she want to enter her articles and online blogs into contests and becoming a legal influencer. Like they have like they're so apparently on LinkedIn there are like professionals because professional base and in her corner it's of lawyers and so forth, people in the legal field and who they are influencers and they want to she was her viral moment. So I have no she's doing really well. She's like exceedingly well, like she does with her in her niche. And so for the past month she's been branching out to explore other forms of like to kind of expand her niche because we're writing a book. She's writing a book. We're writing a book together. And and even like you know how like they have like the medical field they do TikTok videos. Well, they like the law firms and so forth. They do like PR and kind of like online uh, platforming type of style of that's what they do for their I guess their online presence. And so now it's becoming a thing, like it's becoming spreading like wildfire. Like you're like you're in this field, you need to be here, you need to take advantage of this. So we were healing her mind, the thought of, she against these big firms, big corporations, people you feel like their gang, like you versus a gang. Um, but then we had to remind, like, actually, you have it right. Like you're all like she's in as an individual in her own right, she's doing quite well, exceedingly well. So we have her calm and grounded, centered, and so now she's entering into competitions. So I think that she's like having luncheons and things. Also, she's going through an elevation. So she is, and I said, you're going to be in a position where you're going to be asked to live the life. It was very difficult to explain to a mind. And she says, because everything is so rigid and structured, like squares are squares and circles are circles. I said, you're going to be so far advanced that people are going to ask you to do the work of the highest, I guess, the like level one type work. Like, I know it doesn't. So she's come to terms that she might want to at least ponder because it plays out like it's so weird. Like, because like this is not the way, this is not conventional way of the way that they did this and do that. And she's like, when you said it, I was like, I'm shaking my head. It's like the first thoughts are they better not. That's just unconventional. But then it happens. So she trusts me so well that she allows me to psychically profile people. So people she meets, I profile them, and it's so funny with her because some people they warn against that she connects with, and then some people they're like rooting, like people she would say, "Oh, I don't want to be around these," but they're the spirit one is rooting for those people. So a lot of the times, sometimes it's always like it's in reverse. It's not that, oh yeah, let me get you isolated. No, because that's why I reminded her. I said, you know, you have people that we say we. I said it in a nice way. I said that universe seems to support, but yet we say, oh, but we still gonna keep an eye on them. We're still gonna make sure we're not gonna let down our defenses. But then there are people that are like, absolutely no. She's like, then she got it. She's like, oh, okay, so this one is a bona fide, definitive no. So yeah, I think he got it in a nice way. My dudes are doing well. My dudes are like, someone works at a castle and like they're planning on making it where, they're not gonna let us have our own parking spots. It's easier to do the work. We bring them business. So they're gonna tell the people, look, you gotta work with us. We're here, we're gonna look out the parking lot. Random people who come, kind of like a rough neighborhood, kind of rough around here in the modern times. I think it's always been rough. Deal with it. Like say, no, we need our parking spot. We need to better pull up our horses and wagons. I mean, I'm sorry, our electric vehicles and park closer to the door. So I got them thinking, like, okay, okay. I like specifically two things you have to let them know. You need the accommodation. You need the accommodation. That's I'm only going one or two. You need the accommodation. The other one is you're there to work and you bring them business. Don't make it harder than what it has to be. Only let us do this. Don't let everybody else, but let us come park over here. Because of those two things. Accommodation and we bring you business. Without us, there's no business. There's no make it worth our while. Mm. My other dude, he is uh he's Arab Kingdom. He's traveling to do work with my beautiful people in Vietnam. And yeah, Vietnam is saying we want to do business in the world globally. We want our shot. They're emerging. They're like everybody's like following. Okay, like Trump is like, no, we don't want. Let's play business. Let's play game of business. There's war chess, and then there's hey, let's play Monopoly business. Let's play the game of life. That game of life, business, money, make money. Not war chess or battle chess. It's called battle chess or war chess. Probably these days they probably have both. Let's see. What's it called? It's called battle chess. Yep, battle chess. We're not playing battle chess. Okay, what about war chess? I think war chess is the one with all the war airplanes. Yep, they got war chess. They got them both. So yeah, we would have played Game of Life. Game of Life is awesome. It's like a Monopoly. It's like Monopoly, but it's different. It includes like yeah, here it is, like being a lawyer and all that. Hold on, let me see if I can. Here it is. In fact, it's at Walmart. That game is fun. Like you could be a lawyer. You could have different. It's everything like with Monopoly, but you also get to be like a doctor, and try to make $50,000. Like their income is based on a having a $50,000 salary and maintaining a lifestyle game of life. I love that game over Monopoly, but Monopoly for the sake of the conversation, Monopoly game of life versus war chess and battle chess. Like the world is like, okay, the point is the world is saying let's play business. Not when you're a kid, you say let's play business, and everybody got to come to you and invest money, or like like buy buy a paper hat. You ring them up, like they want to do that. I'm breaking it down to you what people are interested in. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. So hopefully they get to do exactly that. Of course, not. There's always that one person who comes over there and they sit all crazy, and then they gonna move their leg and that they intentionally kick the board, you know, or that if a group, you're having a good time, somebody is wants attention and be like, I want to play too, and they said they didn't want to play, and it's the middle of you've already started. Now, I think I went back too far. I'm so sorry. I think I went back way too far. Not that far back. Well, there's people like that as adults, and so it's like, first of all, you're not gonna come over here messing up our game. That's President Xi, President, excuse me, Emperor. That's Emperor Xi right there. That's China. Like, no, you're not gonna come over here. We already have the game playing. We're in the middle of a game of making money. You don't come over here bothering us. You should have started from the beginning. You know. Now you gotta wait till we still at the end of this game and we start another one. You get it. You get it. And then of course the one who's gonna come over there kicking the board, the, that's definitely Russia. Russia over there kicking the board, uh, taking somebody's uh, chip and running away with it. So that's definitely Russia. Stereotypically speaking, um, you know, mm. But it's good that the world is, which I also felt that like the world is kind of saying like, come on, man, grow up. You know, I kind of like it. I like U.S.'s United the America's new stance on the situation because now they're like, look, if you want war, uh, do that on your like do that to yourselves. Don't pull everybody else in it. Not like if you want to blow each other up. I mean, like if you want to blow yourself up. It's kind of like they kind of said, look, if you want to do that just in to your country, with your own men, your people, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to be. Don't involve us. Don't involve. Like it's stop involving other people around you. Like just stay to you. Like boundaries. Like I love their new stance on things, and that rather than just ignore them. Oh, don't say nothing to them. Just don't say nothing to them. Now it's like, gosh, like, but they will definitely have a pair for you though. They definitely will tell you, hey, who you think you is? But they finally are like understanding um the time. Now they're thinking like karma. Like karma is like, okay, if the who gets the karma? The ones who follow the directions or the one who is in charge of giving directions? Who gets the karma? And then people, it's like on a human side, it's like, Russia was getting like karma spelled with an starting with an a karma, which means no action rendered. Like, oh, they didn't do anything. You saw nothing here, nothing to see. No sense of like non-attachment. Like, and this go off and live life and grow old, whatever. Go work at a go work for NASA or something. But now it's like the way karma does it. Karma is like the ones who do the action have their own karma, their role to play. The ones who, illustrate and form the plan, they have a karma to play. So it isn't just, well, I'm just following orders. So, you can't, I'm not the one to blame, and it's like, no, it's, you can't be like being in a full on to the death battle and then say, it's Putin's fault. No, you have to like it's everyone involved, and it's a life and death for you to think about that. It's like it's not because they're doing this out of their heart. You pull this out of their back pocket, behave like this. It's life and death for them. They have to start thinking like that in these modern days because Putin is indiscriminately clearly he doesn't care what skin color he's there. He's like he wants what you are standing on. He wants your land, but he needs you to kind of stick around to see that he took it. He needs you to stay. He needs you to alive just long enough so you can see he took it. So yeah, so that's that. Um, and the reason why they have to respond to him like uh, discriminatorily in manner is because it's life and death for them too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they had to. It's like, why do like I guess like they say groups treat their own group better or feel like they have a connection with their group and which maybe they do, maybe that exists where, oh yeah, this person's gonna understand me because you speak Blackanese, and then you say, see, this person, I calm them down, another person might say, like language barrier, so you have to go full on force, and so somebody white gets, or another nationality gets abused by a person who is from a different ethnicity altogether, all because there's a cultural barrier, there's a language difference. A pleasure, Donald here. A pleasure, Donald here. A pleasure answering your questions today. And how would you like to start to get you on your way? Okay. Well, let's take a look and see who's coming in for you and get you started in your journey. So, what I can see in this space is that, wow, my gosh, it feels very much that there's a lot coming in through your August vibration. Everything is happening for you in August. Also, you'll be feeling this energy as we speak because I mean, the sign for Cancer is the astrological sign Cancer is definitely present in your reading, and there's a lot of an effect going on with that sign, right? Like over the next these 2 weeks what's left of July. In fact, July is noted that well, that is the sign for Cancer, the last bit of the month, but it doesn't really start until August, like active wise, becoming active. They say that's when it becomes concrete and organized. I believe that. So you saying you're gonna meet someone? Then that's a yes. You're gonna meet someone like it's gonna be into early August, entering August, early August that you meet him. And I'm looking. He's present, by the way. He's physically present, and it seems to me that there's communication, there's warmth here in the communication. It feels good to interact. The first encounter, I do believe that this people sometimes ask, well, is this somebody who I know? I don't get the sense you know this person, but I do believe that it's somebody whom like you might say, well, at least have you maybe talked with them in passing. I don't even get the sense that you've even spoken with them. But they said that when you meet, you're like one aspect off from having a full-on connection, a romantic connection. And now the guides also say this. They said, okay, there's a lot of individuals stepping forward. It's maybe a group, and this group is illustrating that it's like a social space here. This is something social. And reminds me of like a gathering of sorts. So there might be maybe some common interests of being in the same space together, is what I can tell. But he and you are the ones who attract with interests of romance. And then the other section of this is that you're in this situation where um you're grown, it's like you're developing. I see some people who are not as experienced, and I see people who are experienced. It's like a mixed group here, like a mixture of individuals. To me, they remind me of professionals even, but or associates of sorts. But it seems like there's some people who are seasoned here, or mature people, maybe older. Then I see some new people, new faces here as well. But everybody's professional here, or association by association here. And he and you develop. Well, that's when the sun comes in, and the sun representing like the light begins to pour in, and I could tell that this is definitely on the fly. Like you both are having your conversation, getting around socially. You guys are, it doesn't seem like there's a mix up, and like in communication, that there's no mixing of the communication, mixing up, excuse me, mixing up the communication. And so I could tell that he's also very much, to me, his personality is one of security. I get the sense of either like a light brown hair, so it's like brown hair and lighter. He maybe could have been a lot lighter, maybe younger. He maybe could have been with the blonde hair younger. So he gives me that vibration. Strong guy, secure, emotionally connected. He likes to feel security in terms of like, he likes to make sure everything checks out. So like in relationship wise, I think that means he comes across as a protector. And each time I've read for him, he and you are always standing side by side. So there's like four areas here where you both are side by side. And to me, that's a strong symbol that the guides are saying this is what a couple looks like. This is a couple who's standing next to each other and enjoying each other's space and company, shared space and company. To me, also, it looks like you both bring different things. Well, it's communicate. Besides communication, you money, affluency, like the ability to move throughout the world the way that with freedom. And then I saw like, okay, so his big thing is security, your big thing is communication. So you both have certain talents and this characteristics that the other one appreciates, is what I could see. Okay, so there's one other element here. Let's see what it means for you. So fire vibration said new relationship in terms of like beginnings are meant to happen with you. Um, okay, so by the way, when you feel, I guess, steady with him, he's also very much like, if we say, take initiative, takes control, if you will. If we could borrow that statement, I think that more or less that means he's active, like he shows action. That's what I mean by take control. Like he takes that strong initiative, as in he will take the action as the root. He's not a sideline dater, kind of like you just tell him what to do. He just mechanically gets it done. So it's not going to feel like, oh, this could be just a business deal. It's more like he and you actually, can, like, he just gets a sense that you're comfortable with him, and he can then, you know, follow what's best for he and you, both of you together, and then he acts on it with an action. He follows up with it, doing something that represents how he feels, actions, or the thoughts and that goes and that's involved with it. So he gives me the sense that he's trustworthy. I think that he's family oriented because energetically, I think he's the guy gentleman vibration that feels like he needs somebody to look after. He likes to, like, what they call govern. He feels it's strange if there's no structures around. So I think he likes the way that, like, somebody who has in mind the way that a home should be run, the way that relationships should flow. He's really firm in this area. It's not something he even thinks about. So he's not like, oh my gosh, is he like a worrier? He's not like, I wouldn't say a worrier, but he could tell if something's off. So that's a good sign of communication. Like if something is wrong, he's doing something wrong, said something wrong, and it hadn't quite dawned on him. But a dynamic somehow, it switches within the past 24 hours, by the way. So he gets it right away. It's not like a week or a month and he's asking you, well, why didn't you tell me? You didn't grill me on it. Nothing like that. He's like, absolutely, like something quite didn't click with us. Um, is that true? Do you get that perception? Okay, was something I said, something I did, something we need to work on together? I love the idea that that's what I mean by he takes control or takes initiative or honors, your thoughts on things and then tries to make it work again. Or if you say he likes the structures of the way a home can run, he likes the way that you feel that a relationship can run, and then he likes the rules and he wants to more or less stick to rules. What are those social, intimate rules that he and you create between yourselves? Uh, oh, by the way, when it comes to your lives, like, will you two emotionally get along? Will you two have an emotional connection? Okay, so Jupiter says that your relationship will be in the open, meaning when you date in this new journey, he and you actually are going to be in the, I think, in the light. Like people will know. So it's not going to be something that's, only on the weekends, or whatever planned out. He's definitely it's going to be where I think you're going to know, people are going to know you. I mean, you're going to know people who he knows, family especially. Um, uh, yeah, everything is in the spotlight. This also represents, it, sometimes it gives me the feeling that he's tapped into, he gets a lot of justice elements. So he may be maybe like a mediator in life. Maybe he mediates between people, like maybe he helps to settle disputes. Maybe he's good at bringing uncommon people, to talk. Like he's like comes across as a bit of a peacemaker in my reading, but a peacemaker, but not a passive one. He seems to be someone that people prefer to listen to. Like he has vibrato in his energy as well. And then the other one, oh, emotionally he gets you. So he's a peacemaker. Everything is out in the open with between he and you, and he likes it that way. Um, he's like people. He says people. The way that he describes this is people know he and you are dating anyway, and oh, the location where this is like you're like you're at his home, and you're obviously you both are there for the evening, and it's like okay, the jump leaping forward or a matter of discretion. It's like well, people know that he and you are dating anyway, and so we can just go ahead and go out for the evening as well. He's like, so he's definitely a brave one. He's a brave one. So I already like him already for that because he's taking ownership of his what he's into. That's good for him. But again, they're doubling down in terms of time. First of all, they want you to know this is meant to happen by the season of Pisces or like a December or next year, end of year. This is astrological year, but they correspond to time as well. So this year, 2025, by the way, before Christmas, but most importantly, it's meant to happen in that August space. Also before September 22nd. So that's like they said before fall. So it's meant to happen. All this is happening in this during these late summer romancing, but of course we know over the next 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks, in terms of like integration meeting. The rest is just the matter of like mapping it out. I'm also getting a strong sense of so there's the okay. So what happens between like August happens right. September is going to happen right there, right now. That 2 month framework. The way that they describe this is that relationship wise, it seems to and dating, dating, communicate. Okay, relationship wise, long term, have been talking for a while already. They kind of know what you both want, and you're one step off from saying, okay, pretty serious here, pretty exclusive. So that's the manner of the date. It's kind of like you both are always actively dating, more or less, and just needing to verbalize that you two are dating or a couple. So that's being also described and talked about, I guess. Yeah, discussed very early as well. But just so we'll talk about the first two within the first 2 months of having met and speaking and seeing where things go. So this definitely seems to be a relationship of action and the sense of moving forward, and just outright saying what you both want. Like I don't get the sense of this definitely is not a shy type of relationship where everyone's waiting for the other one to show a sign or gets a divine message to, should you both try for anything. It comes straight out, I think that it's the nature how you both met, and if it's like if you won't be served if you don't raise your hand or like bring attention to yourself. So I think he's in that framework of hey, he better make his move now because he doesn't know if he's gonna get another chance. So he had took a chance, and but it's naturally in his personality to do so. I don't think he has an issue in that area of like finding a woman he's interested in, somebody or anyone he's interested in, and wanting to communicate. So that. Oh, and I also the symbol that represents December, like they're doubling down in terms of like time wise, like everything is meant to happen in this very like within this year's time. So I'm also seeing the symbols again, well before December, well before December. We're not even really mentioning anything about November because everything is going to have made itself known well by then. I would say by end of September, before we bring in August. So the first 2 months is what we seem to be focusing on, is what I can tell. I don't think, I just doubt that vibration. I don't get the vibration that he's even married. He doesn't even seem to be married. This sounds because this personality, like, wow, he's got maybe, maybe he's been married, he's done that before. It's like he's had relationships, he's stable in his life, but he hasn't. settled in, isn't that settled down? Married, children, family. He's more like, it's like he is very much very stable and desires those things. I think that he runs a very, maybe a serious home life. Um, I think that he has had serious commitments, connection. I think he looks as his relationships as commitments. So he commits to those. I think that he hasn't found the one that wants to, make a nest with. I guess they don't want to. I just don't get a sense of, okay, ready to become and be his wife, be his partner, be mother of his children, and those things. Those things hasn't stepped forward yet. I do believe. Speaking to him, by the way, I do believe a woman is stepping forward in his life, who he will then now have those options, whether if children are involved or not, just someone who says, okay, they want to try it with him this time. And there's not, like he would say, like the guy that you take on to have those things with, he's a pool of those guys. He'll be one of the selections. So the things happen in weird ways all over the world. Not everybody gets those things. The marriage part. Not everyone gets those. Although he wants those things, they want it. It just hadn't come together. So this is his situation, and now I think it's also with the age of Aquarius, all of that stuff. I think that he's more self-aware. That I think that's also helping with the situation to get involved in a more committed way, a serious way. Relationships have come and gone, but although he's taken each of them, he says he's taken them quite serious. I'm looking at the energy he had when he's committed. He has committed when he has. Like he remembers the relationships that he's had, and he remembers that they both were truly invested it together. So I think that in other words, I'm just saying, I think he will treat, what will be different this time? How will he treat this? Will it be the same? Something has to change with him, or something he would have grown from this experience if he's intending to find something that's lasting. If he's tried that before with expectations and they've not worked. So this time it feels like very much he's looking for those expectations, he's looking for them to happen now. He's ready, he's prepared, he's in the right space. And it also may mean that, to add, like socially, recreationally, like his life seemed to, like being in a nice position in life to not rush these things, but be committed, but not necessarily saying, okay, he's ready to, forge ahead with all of life. He's like, no, well, he's making good money. He can kind of do what he wants as a, independent, and he can, have a nice relationship. So that's the way he's played it, like a very sophisticated bachelor. I would say very sophisticated bachelor who's not necessarily wanting just to date around. I mean, he definitely gets into long-term relationships, no doubt about that. Which he's very open about those things. I think, and at the same time, Spirit was letting me know, well, what actually happened? Because life happens. All it takes is the man and the woman and their interest in each other. Life could have still happened anyway, with them both away. I believe what happened is there was a commitment, and I believe she wanted to move forward and move into the marital, if she like run away type of situation, run away with the man type of situation, marry, have kids. I think that's what the latter was chosen, but from the lady. Like why didn't it just happen? I think it happened, but with another suitor, a much more favorable situation, being that she wanted those things immediately. So that's what I gathered from him. But yes, he is single, available. I always like to say no past attachments for him. Okay, no past at this time there aren't. Oh, so back to his career. What I picked up about him. he may have something going on in terms of like they say that he's a mediator in this lifetime. So it feels like he kind of like people he comes in between two people and unlike unlikely personalities and gets them in the same room together. Like he does something to that effect as a career. And also the times when like he's invited you over to his home where he and you have had conversations. I think that's the idea of the way that he likes his home to run. I think he's very serious in that sense. Like he wants to be taken serious as professionally, of course, relationship wise. I think that really matters for him to have like to feel secure, to have security in his life. So I think that but that also means he's created a stable place for the lady to feel comfortable, you know, giving him that vibration, giving him that sense, because he has to be stable before she can't do that for him. He has to do that, and then she can help him feel comfortable, you know, with her. So I do believe that that's the way that it's described as he's looking for something long term with you, and also that he's so stable, and meaning he's so much in control of his finances. That we include that to be specific that he um, doesn't even mind if people are aware of his and your relationship. It doesn't affect him. If he goes on a date with you, he's not bothered. He's like, I don't, you know, he has a good social identity, but he also has a healthy social identity, and and one that he doesn't have to hide his relationships. He's like, well, you know, I just don't want a lot of people knowing that he's seeing or sleeping with anyone because he likes to be out and about and wants to give everybody the apparent thought that he's single and that he's mingle. You know, he's more like they see us out. You know, like he doesn't care. He does what he wants. You know, he's on a date right now. Let him be. Let him have his life. That's the way that he runs his life. And because he is stable in charge financially and can assume that way of living, the way of life. So with a bit of more transparency. Also, he doesn't date. He doesn't date like he doesn't set himself up to date like that anyway. Like right, he's not trying to be a serial dater. So he's not a serial dater. So he doesn't need to hide the fact that he's on a date and that he's on a date with someone he's very much attracted with. Of course, financially, you know, he likes to take charge. Now, and I need to say it. He does like to be in control of finances. That's another like he would like to be the one that like, okay, let's go out, and then he's driving, and he's got the money, and he's okay. He just you know the tables is already you know we go set the table. You know he likes to do those things. Those are things that are I mean those are I know this sounds very well things he should know to do anyway very very mundane, but I just thought that would help to illustrate that he's good with his wallet. He's definitely good with his wallet, and he's because he's so good with it with his wallet, he doesn't need to be like a snake in the grass or anything like that. Hmm. 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 Right. Well, it's good that we like you okay, life is about human participation. That is so true. But it's also beautiful that this day, in this new age, in this new times, that you have the freedom, free will, freedom, and we're gonna say including free will to continue being intimate with the partner of your choice. If you're is healthy and you're creating love, not creating destruction or sowing bad, destructive karmic seeds by being with them. So it's definitely not going to have any effects this guy that the new one you're gonna meet is not demanding either. He's not, he's not saying this or ultimatum and that. I'm really looking only for this, and you got to be this and that's. He's only interested in you. So, and what you do is your business until he gives you the incentive that he can grant you a better something like pique your interest. If he wants you to be that, then he should give you that reason. He should give you a good, really good reason to say, look, you're the only one. Make him earn that. But it will not hinder because of the free will. It's not going to hinder you from meeting. So you what you will want to know is you have to not give your choice for sale. You got to look, you're still interested in this guy from time to time. Don't make any drastic life changes until you're absolutely sure and it's beneficial for you, to you. Now psychically, we do know that the guy that you who is to be met, he's a really great guy. But he's also going to allow you to be comfortable with him at your pace. So you're gonna decide when it's proper to, maybe pause the other guy. When you'll pause him, maybe next year you'll put it on pause. But not right now, not while you're getting used to this new guy and you're trying to just figure it out. You want to be dating. They said 2 months before he wants to take things, even before like deciding if you two are even considered messing around. He's like, well, right now you both are examining, trying to like looking at things, looking at, how it works between he and you. And that's in like through August and September. They said, don't rush it. No, but mm, no. No, no. That's like saying you can't move. I can't move on because you won't allow me to. That's everything depending on me for you to move on and grow as a person. No, we're on individual paths, and this is not a group test. Not love is not even a group test. You can love someone. Someone can love you, but not love you correctly. Things like that. That happens. But you got the merit of love divinely. You got an A++ in loving someone. And the other person got like a B- or less. They could have got an F. Bad grade. So yeah, it's not dependent on him. It's not dependent on him. However, energetically, we did talk about what you both bring to each other energetically, but that's you two co-creating. Just much as he could, if like he could minimize your experience with him, you could minimize experience with you like as well. On with him, he can minimize experiences, right? But you so can you. Like okay, he brings action, you bring wonderful communication skills, which he adores you for, and that's why how you both co-create, and then you both can tap into to each other's energy and then you both can you can grow that way but he block you from no, that can never be. Well, because we the limits, for example, lastly said, the limits that happen with us are the limits that we place on our lives, not anyone else, because how we react to him, that would put us into limits, but we're not going to do that in your reading. We're not going to suggest you do that. We're not going to put any limits on what you can do. You can do many things. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you understand that. That's what matters. You understand that. You created the universal thought. Other people may have their opinions and what have you, but you understand the rules. You understand what you're doing. Okay. That's why the limits that they're talking about, they don't know what they're really talking about when it comes to you. They're speaking broadly. Right. I mean, there's some obvious things you like being involved, like again, being involved with somebody who doesn't know how to treat us. That's one thing. But that's practical life things. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows, yeah, you get involved with the wrong person and you kind of we get stuck on that and we, whatever reasons we stay with that, yeah, that will affect our growth. But that's not what this is, by the way. The new guy isn't in this. It's not a situation where he's so bad or so terrible that, and then something, God forbid, happens where you can't move on from that. No, That's not how spirit works. That's not. That shouldn't. Why is that in a psychic reading? And we're celebrating this guy, by the way. So no way, we wouldn't be celebrating him if he were that type. No, right. hmm This guy is like gives all the openness to where you can connect with him and live and enjoy life, even as this speaking to this other gentleman, and until the right one comes that gives you the reason to create that purpose, include that as part of your affirmation to be exclusive with him. Okay, you shouldn't have to make such a promise because that's not guaranteed from the other person. It's not guaranteed from him. Although of course, we read him. He's not. He's not dating anyone. He's not married. He doesn't have like married children. He doesn't have children. But and he is definitely an exclusive dater type. I can pick up on that. Um, but he's not. But it doesn't come with ultimatums. He doesn't come with that. hmm Yeah. Sure. Well, I would say that there's destiny is like there's bigger things to talk about destiny. Will this happen? This, of course, psychic predictions of what happens, those play out. Some things are set in stone, but you know what's the beauty of, let's say, terms of royalty or people, big people in the world, right? They use astrologers all the time, like, and then they interpret it themselves because they're the crowns, they're the world, they're the powers of the world. It's their choice. It's your choice. I'm suggesting that this is your choice, but some things are set in stone. Like, hey, this really will happen, and then how you respond to it will be, especially with you having this information now, this preconceived information now. You meet the person, and yes, you can decide how you want it to flow, especially now you're privy that it is flowing indeed. The destiny is going to be much bigger. That's when, oh gosh, something profound happening. Okay, so definitely they're saying you shouldn't, like, this time can be enjoyed, like this should be enjoyable, this experience. And then when you're ready to transcend and become something else, or he and you become serious, it'll become something else. Okay, enjoy life, enjoy it, the experience. Sure. Okay. I won't go anywhere. Oh, Lord. Mm, I'm just kind of trying to help. I'm just trying to help my friend. I'm just trying to help my friend here. Woo. Ugh. Uh, uh, yeah, okay. Um, lady. Anyways, Chef. Oh my gosh, she was serious. Donald here. Okay. A pleasure. Yep. Yep. Hmm. Hmm. Right. Right. So one of the things that's for certain that you could do energetically to like to kind of just stay in sync would be besides keeping an open heart, on this subject, to so that you can. They said that in order to give love, you have to also receive it. Be open to receiving it, then you can give it to someone else. Just like we'll reject love and then try to give love, and it's kind of like trying to get something out of the bank that's not there. You need that somebody to invest in you, invest that love and time with you first, and then you will grow it. Like in your savings, you'll grow it, and it becomes a beautiful seed that's producing wonderful fruits. And so you already have that. So now we're going to talk about the things like everything you mentioned, what you could be doing. They said, first of all, um, this is about like dealing with commitments. That's your theme here. You're looking to something. Things may you say, are there any things that would stop or block or reject? So, like, are we totally healed? Are we even ready? Like, these are some ideas that are coming through. And it's saying that whatever block that we thought were existed, or losing ourselves, like, what do I have to do for it? They say if universe give me something that big, I'd be surprised if all this comes true. And by the way, what do I have to do for it? Universe is saying, look, you're in the right place. You've got the right measures. You're doing life the right way. That's right now it's about self care. For you to have the romance, it's come in the form of a gift. Be in a place to where you can receive and take care of something that's given to you as a gift, though. And that's what you're going to do. You're, as you say, dealing with the self care. Because, yes, your love experience, yeah, you said love for you will have to happen much deeper. So, love that is where like, you would have to say, you fell in love, and then there's, you fell in love deeply. And that's, it helped it, and that's what geared you up to where you have many different thoughts about even like what love is and what you're looking for from a partner, especially one you can that is has you so distracted or preoccupied that you've even begun to stop seeing the other guy. So, until that day happens, life is life and enjoy every moment, every minute. But it definitely it's going to happen. So I believe that's what the answer is. They're saying right now it's about your self care, because when you're being pursued, that's the easy part. You being pursued, you have no trouble with the guy showing interest or pursuing you. But like, you mean this is finally like this is gonna be the guy that is saying he wants to go all out and make this like very personal, make his and your space so special that it's personal. It's like personal design for you, for he and you. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about here. And it's not somebody you might say, oh, this is my special friend. Special friends can also care for us as well and make beautiful moments. But this is more than that. This is more. And so I believe that all as they're saying what you want to do right now is really take special care with the self care bit. Like, really use this time to manage your self care, time of peace. Just be ready, be gorgeous, feel like the world is at your fingertips, and you put out to the universe that you are ready to really meet and have a new fresh perspective what love is going to represent for you. That you're open to it. you know So it's good to look good. It's good to feel good, and they just said that's what I mean by self-care, if to be exact. And then, of course, this guy is just going to come through, meet you, and then the gift happens. The gift, by the way, is from the male's perspective, this is him asking you on a romantic date, from the romantic heart. And he's extending that as well. So, like, uh, can he take you out for dinner? Something unique that is like something he didn't have to do, but thought like he just could have kept it very general, very simple. How do you keep in contact? But it's more like, no, he's like there's something he would nice he would like to do for you, and maybe it would help you get to know him better. Maybe it'd open up a space where he can then tell you a little bit more about himself, what he likes to do, like why did like about his where his family live, things like that. So he's definitely gonna make that kind of move. By the way, the new guy, he's gonna make that's the kind of move he's gonna make, and that's also the type of receiving as a response that you should feel good in performing your action, your side. What should you do? Be in a position to receive that information, receive that experience, receive the gentleman. That's all that you need to do. That's a lot of work because this is also like you said, if you want to say destiny is to get you to a place where you feel like whatever this new commitment represents, however you it's going to represent, that you are getting through the locked door, because it's like whatever blocks that we thought are there, imagine that they're just removed, demolition style. Like somebody has gotten as also cleanup crew. There, the block or this wall is not present there anymore. It's not there, and you're not also getting involved. Doesn't like you said. I have to like become this whole other identity. No, we're not losing ourselves. We're not losing our identity. The person you are, this is the person who did the attraction. You attracted this guy based on the person you are. He has no clue of what the additional sides of you that you choose to recreate or redefine. He doesn't know those things. He just know the person who he's meeting at the time and his interaction with at the time with you. That's all he knows. So that means you're just opening, like they say, like the flower, as opening up and receiving the moonlight, or opening up to receive the sunlight. That you're just receiving what is natural, and you're just ready. You are absolutely ready. Hmm. 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 Right. I get the strong sense that he he's in you're he's in sync with you. You're not even in sync with him. I mean, you're dialed you're dialed in you're dialed into to your to well, his and your, but your, specifically your daughter. She's your daughter. And yes, uh he's dialed you're dialed in, he is by way, but he is dialed into you. He's the one that's gravitating to you. He's the one that has to gravitate to you because regardless if he what he doesn't want, karma doesn't work that way. Karma, universe is acknowledging that he is a dad, and universe will say, "You got to see this truth." Oh, by the way, this is Gemini is showing us facts about our life that we thought we knew everything. You know how guys are; think they know everything. Well, and and say, well, she has it. She has the responsibility. And he doesn't want to be play a role. But then Mercury is saying you need some facts. You need some real truths, capital T, absolute truths. He then saw you again. It's like you are a father, and you're gonna think about this. You're gonna be thinking about this. Well, what like your connection and you not being, like not having contacted you for so long, and you reemerge in his life. And yeah, I get the sense that as time goes by, like I don't see, oh, you asked a very specific question too. Let me get into that when you said I don't see him contacting soon, but I do see him contacting much later. And spirit is making him go through the karma of having to think about the now bit. He could have contacted you a lot sooner, and then all of a sudden he has a heart, and he has a time and mental consciousness to want to reach out, and then he's gonna be thinking, why do I want to do this? What am I doing this for? Will you even talk to him after all this time? Maybe you will definitely have another relationship going on. I do sense that this seems to be that he's especially as the years grow. Like you said, 3 years, maybe another, like one more year or two, maybe 2 years. Okay, 2 years, 2 years. He's gonna want to. He's gonna be thinking. I wonder, what she would say. I wonder her words. The first words. Well, she's not. He knows that the first words is going to be the words that should be proper. Mom, mom, what I want, not the words that represent. He's going to think about that. Karma is going to be like, you got to think about. He's going to be thinking, if I was, yes, maybe the first words would be my name, but it's like, no, 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 you haven't reached out. You haven't not reached out. They need to be wondering, okay, how tall that she is. Does she take, his feature? What features is she connected with to, as being the dad? He's the dad. All of these types of thoughts are going to come to mind, and that's the supporting why he reaches out. He's reaching out because he does want to see his daughter. Right now in his life, he thinks he knows everything, and he thinks that like he's made it all about himself. That as well, but he does think he know everything. But the universe is saying, especially right now with this these past few weeks, is like universe is showing us things about ourselves that are like facts. So like that's true. You can't deny. He can't deny this situation. He cannot deny that you are the mother of his child. He knows that's true. He can't say, "What do you mean? What do you want about?" He knows. He definitely knows, and it's on his conscience. It's on his conscience. 2 years, then reach out. Um, but you know what's healthy for you is that though he's part of your life experience, that you have all the superior love, like you said, you have all the love for your daughter, but most importantly, you have love to share in relationships. Like you're open to it. You're open to receive. Like it's time. You're ready. You deserve it. Universe, you're not held to account for. No, you're in the right place. You who you are right now, not you becoming anyone else. Only growing more and becoming who you are, discovering more and more every day who you actually are and what you actually want from a companion. The version of you right now is the one who's pulling this love towards you and this loyalty towards you. Not a version of your future self. That's what I truly, genuinely am saying that. Um, so this is beautiful because he's because he doesn't have to be the one that comes in and makes everything right. You have a firm handle on that. You're already securing your world. You're securing your world as we speak. Like right now, you have done it already. So it's not him that comes in and makes everything upright again. It just is. The world is already upright for you. That's where he's. Mm, okay. Okay. Let's read your highest vibration because earlier when I first started, they did talk about um, some things with in terms of like being balanced in the financial areas, but also they mentioned that this is a time where like opportunities will present itself and you can do something with it, do something with them, like what is it, a form of like a pattern that's going to happen, something that you will catch on that also helps with finances. So let's just read how they're going to say it in their language, the spiritual guides. They say when it comes to work, recognition, working a lot. Oh boy, like working a lot. I believe this has a lot to do with for the work you do, for the amount of work you do. They said you actually are very quiet. Okay, like you work in excellence, and but you don't promote it. But not saying that you needed to. It's like your all the work you do, the amount of work you do is noticed. Like the fact that you work a lot. Okay. They also said your history. You're well established, by the way. That's why your experience and being well established, also the way your work ethic, that's what gets people wanting to do something bigger for you with you. By the way, they said in this like your path is helper. Like you help. That means you have the ability to help people reach their goals. You do have that ability. Also, in order to do that, you have to be like you're a natural planner. You probably don't even think about this much. You just naturally do it. Like you have an innate ability to plan and also to really plan, help planning other people. So that's a good thing. Um, Now, work and situations has been unreliable and you hadn't been able to rely on your voice as much. Hence, that's why they're saying maybe not have promoted this as much yourself, but now there's a change. There's something that's allowing you to promote this version of yourself. You're reaching a crossroads where the world allows you like a lucky time where you can do something. You say a destiny, do something as that's something that's much bigger, much on a much maybe a larger scale. It's what they said without the like realizing maybe what you haven't amassed, what you hadn't gained, but you gained much, but maybe there's more to gain. Like, oh well, what about what's left on the table? Like through inspiration, you realize, okay, I can go for more. You're worth more, meaning you're worth more. So it's causing you to more like to re-examine the situation and then take off. Like you said, like before everything takes off, you begin making this amazing money that they're describing here. That's on the table. They're saying you're going to begin making more money. Making there's more money to be made. Always was. Now we're ready to say, hey, at the place where I'm at in my career, when you speak, people listen. Now at this point, they're going to listen. They're going to say, okay, well, is this what you want to do? This is what you're interested in doing? Well, let's do it. And they said it's very instinctive. Like sometimes you just feel the urge as an urge is saying, I want to do this. I want to go for this. You're going to do it, and then the money is going to be made. So it's like that's like a kind of like the chip, the golden chip is being, you say, paid and well, of course being paid, making more money, but like going in there and saying, okay, the you've been working very, as they say, working as you have, and now the money there to be that you're ready to receive the money that is deserving. That's where they're showing us you're extremely patient, in terms of like how you share your life purpose in all of this. Oh, I get it. You were a counselor in another lifetime. Okay, you were a counselor. Yeah, that's why you were a counselor in another lifetime, and you listened. Like, I mean, the traditional counselor. You listened to people. That's why. And you manage their lives in another lifetime. In this lifetime is now when the counselor says, okay, this is the part where I speak. And then they say, okay, I'm going to speak. And this where time you listen. That's you. You're the top part where you say, okay, it's time for me to speak and for they to listen. And they're going to hear you out. But that's why you felt like sometimes you should be saying something, but it's like you're learning, and you're okay, what can I do to help them improve their situation? That's why you think like, why do I do that? Like, why do I always want to help people? And and I want them to notice how, like, what I can do, my work. This is why, because you were working out a past life situation. Now you can take things to the next level. Because, by the way, it's all happening through the people you know. So it's people who you immediately know. So it's like, do I need to, interview, or do I need to meet new people? They said it's happening in this very same circle. That very same circle. Difference is you're ready to talk. You're ready to express your desires, and they're gonna meet you halfway. They're gonna meet you now. Oh, time wise, so we hope that okay. So this is a high energy type of reading. So we hope that you start now. We hope that you start in what's left of July. I know it's not too many weeks left, but we hope that you begin in July, because right now we're in a retrograding right now. We got a Saturn retrograde, and so this is this is something for you that's come full circle. This one situation, this past karma, past life, this you as a counselor, now you're ready to speak. All that is Saturn retrograde related. So we're hoping that you start in this process this week. Well, let me take a few days to think about it, but somehow at some point at least start the process this week. And then in terms of like when it manifests, I believe that this is definitely going to manifest. Let's see, get the calendar here. I think I'm hoping, my fingers are so crossed about August, but I'm going to ask the spirits. I have a feeling, my hunch is this is something that definitely, as we start this week, wrapping up July into August, and then that's when it begins. But they're saying on the calendar, see, August. You got the symbol that represents August. I knew it, and specifically August 15th. So you still have roughly a month. Roughly a month. By the way, they're showing me symbols, supported by and you're also intuitive, by the way. But that's also how you're able to, like, why do you get special hunches about people? It's because you're intuitive, because you were a counselor in that lifetime. But I see you holding the coin, like you're holding money. So I see you also holding, um, the idea of, now that you're accepting, like, it's agreed, now the money can be made. So you do achieve monetary growth. Also, new money. You have symbol that represents new money, but particularly, I would say August 15th, specific, to be specific in terms of date and time. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Sure. Okay. Let's see what we gather here, in terms of a nice move. Okay. So Spirit says that you, in terms of time, um, okay, Spirit, when asking about the house, okay, they see you very active. It feels like it's top of the year, maybe like top of the year when the move happens. Top of the year. They're also showing me three. in terms of like 3 months. I'm seeing top of the year, like 2026, maybe the physical move. Something about the, yeah, I'm getting a lot of like first 3 months, like something with three, like the number three as in terms of months. Like maybe there's a conversation about a move over these next 3 months, and then what you have like um, October through December, that last 3 months, you preparing for the move. And then within the first 3 months of 2026, actually moving. So it's happening like that. And it's like three, the number three, you might even, maybe like there's a, maybe like the letter may come in form of like 3 pages, like one you got to send back, and then two to explain like what this, like it's very weird. Like the number three is tied into all of this, but that's the time frame is, um, like in terms of like 3 months, 3 months, like it's 3 months, and okay, so they show me specifically January month. They show me February. So like then March, right, is also a third month. So it's like something with the three is this mystical here. But like also I'm seeing more like Aquarius. So that's more like February, late February, I believe. So it's somewhere in there, that in that space. Early February, or the February month, as you bring in March. By the way, half of March is still will be still considered the end of year, or astrologically. I mean, 'cause that's the Pisces. That's the last sign before it starts over again, and then it goes early March. Okay, so or late March. So pretty much that's like the last bit of I would say February month. That's when it happens. The move, like the move particularly, like you might even be in the process actually at the top of the year, like in the process of, and then then finalizing, getting everything sorted, and then you're in February month. So something in that, to that effect. I would look for that time frame, but also over the now. What can I do for now though? In 2025, or the next 3 months, I'm looking for the letter. The information is explaining all of this, and the conversations being had about all, or, surrounding your home, the new property, over the next 3 months. That's between now and end of September is what they're describing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, earlier they mentioned that you are undergoing a spirit, like there's a bit of a transformation that's spiritual, but I always felt that it's along the lines of something that allows for you to like find, like discover exactly how you're helping people, because they said that your spiritual journey is about helping people to help direct them in manifesting what something that they're doing in life. It's like it's your destiny to help people in that way, and you get vibrations from it, you get heavenly currency from it when you do it. It's like people trust you, and they put you in charge, and it's almost like people keep putting me in charge of things that I don't know if I even should be there, but it's like you should be getting paid for it. It's that kind of feeling. So it's like you're in charge of it, like on a spiritual level, so it's become spiritual for you. You might say, "This is not even my job title. They keep putting me in these positions. It's not my job title," but somehow you end up doing it. So it's like maybe there's something with it. I would say that's a strong sign that you maybe it needed to, like it seems to be monetized spiritually. So you just have to figure out how to make it practical, bring it into practical terms. Since that means you're gifted. This is a gift you have, part of your intuition. So that is definitely You're spiritual. That's this is your spiritual. So if you're entering a spiritual space, this means that this is where you would like reason to lose all of the attachments. Like this is why people detach from the things they do, because you find this, you have everything in the world at your fingertips. Like this spiritual path you're being described right now, you have a gift that allows you to help others or help people trust you, and you know they when you're going to find out when you do speak, people open their ears and listen, or that they come to you and they're welcoming you to help them listen. Mhm. So that's the pathway, is that you're now able to connect with spirit, and then you have a full on connection. It doesn't and also it's continuous, like continuous success, ongoing success, rather than short-term happiness. Like this is that's how what makes this a true spiritual path. You'll never get tired of doing this job, doing this thing that you do for people. You're never going to get tired of it. So you might as well include it in your life path, because it clearly it gives you motivation and energy. Hmm. 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 I get this sense, right? I get the strong sense that she doesn't possess the experience. Like she needs um, something that you would consider to be like an answer to a consequence. Like she does something consequential, she needs to understand what happens as a result. Like everything she creates is either like is consequential, there is something that follows after, and then to help her understand, she has to focus in creating different types of consequent, things that results that she wants. If this is the result she wants, where if she's jeopardizing her positions all the time, then, but if she wants to change that, she's able to do that. But something has to happen where, like you said, like to feel like, oh my gosh, there is something like a negative result happens. So like it's a big one, a big splash kind of bit where you're like, okay, I'm completely replacing her and the energy that comes with her. You have a business to run, and you have to, and it sounds like very you have to be successful at it because people depend on you. Say it sounds like safety stuff. Children's involved, parents involved, family involved. So you need somebody. So it's like this is like a wonderful hard knock, of life lesson. Because like right now, I feel also, by the way, you could feel it. She's like she's playing it down. She doesn't know understand the gravity of things, like how serious things are, or how bad it could really get by these little negligence. So like, so it's like this is good. Like everything affects around her, but nothing is really affecting her. And so, right. So it's like everybody else is catching the flag, but she is not. She keep coming out squeaky clean. You're like, okay, we gotta let this splash on you a little bit. You gotta let a little bit of mud hit her onto her shoe, and oh, you don't like that? Well, now you know mud, like bad things exist. Things exist in the world, so it's good. Yes, but it's like a difficult one because, like, yeah, you replace her, like, you really do replace her, like in the 3D world. But she gets her lesson, and also you don't get to feel, I mean, you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm here, you are become super spiritual, and now you're taking care of, you're rites of passage, a full on adult who's taking on adult like responsibilities, and now you're having to raise a big kid, so into adulthood. You don't have to take on that responsibility. You can say, okay, I give her one hard lesson to learn. From this, she goes and creates a better life for herself. In the 3D world, you continue, taking care of people like you know how, the way that it should be done, and but you know how it should be done. That's what you're trying to convey to her, and she doesn't get it because it's not strong enough. Like she needs a strong enough vibration, and this is enough. This has enough of that strength to get her attention. She's like and it needs to happen early, like fast. Somebody needs to get her attention because right now it's like she's in a dream world, so to speak, where she's seeing disasters around her. Things happen in the world. She knows it happens, but it's not. Well, it doesn't affect me, so what does it really matter? Well, somebody else can do it. When it's her, the you're the one who has the keys has a responsibility. You have to be able to say, I'm not giving you my set of keys. If that's not in you to say, then I can't give you these keys. I can't give you these position. But she needs to go through the actions of all of that to feel like, okay, I got my keys taken away. They don't trust me anymore. And now that's on me. Now I'm taking on responsibility. Next time I get in a position like that, I'm going to treat it with more respect, integrity. Then I realize that now. I wish I would have known it sooner. So I do feel like you're making the right decision. And again, you get to start to live your life again, like run your business the way and do business like stuff, not spiritual and and trying to get her to really understand. You right. You don't have time. Like you wanted her ready and prepared when she arrives. That's why you hired her, right? You hired her, and you were bringing her in, and you want to teach her things, But that doesn't sound like that's the nature of the relationship. You don't have time for. Okay, okay. You get it. To do if it was you're right, if she really cared and she thought it was important enough. You nail it. You got it. You got it. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Right. 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 I get the sense that you're gonna get someone, yes, who understands responsibilities and who's dependable, accountable, and you don't have to be, like you said, you can go into the office, your space, your personal space, or on a holiday, close the door behind you, and know that they're going to take care of it, and they're going to. I mean, if it's extremely important, or they kind of need, like a permission, okay, that's one. Then they'll do it, but they'll know that that's what they should do, or they know what responsibility that you've given them, and that like they're going to fulfill it. I feel that that is a yes. I see another woman. I see a woman, but she's able to do exactly that for you. Well, the new one. Okay. I get the sense that right now it feels like this is okay. So I see structures being implemented over these next 2 months. 2 months. I'm seeing like September. I'm seeing September, not in August. not completely in August. It's much better in August, but it's more like September, October, like October month, just before you get to November, October. October, your business will be exactly where you need it to be. I see structures in place to where your business can run, and you feel like business is running itself almost. You're in charge of it, it's yours, but you're able to do things, step away even, holiday even, and you don't feel overly nervous by not always like being like physically because that's so like the way that your business should be running where they know you given the instruction, they're going to follow the instruction, and they're going to take care of their business, of their position you're giving them. This is October. Mhm. Right, that he gets it right. He himself is very much like structured, like he likes the way he wants somebody in his life who likes the way a home is run. Like he runs a good home. Like he really takes care of his home as a though a single man, no family in the house. But when it comes to like he wants to protect the family. He wants to provide security for a family. He understands that to the T. He had that in his upbringing. Also, with any relationship he's ever had, he's always treated the relationships he's in. He's committed to them with guarantee of security. And so, like the fact that like being secure and protected is highly important for you, for your children. That's like everything he's ever asked for in a partner. Hmm. He does care about you. He does care about how you run your home, your life. He likes the idea that you bring security in his life and something worth protecting. Like you make him feel like this is good, worth to protect. It's like something that he can't. I mean, worth protect. He can protect. He can protect. You give him the ability to do that. Um, and that's why he seems to come across as a family person. I felt that he was like he wanted, he desires a family, someone, a family to protect. He's always securing, I guess, his home, his life to do exactly that, like to be in a position to really take care, to help his companion, whoever he's dating at the time, to feel comfortable. He's always doing that, or that like you have children, that you and the children are comfortable. He always thinks like that. According to the reading, he and you make your first meet, and the connection happens through the way that he and you are in communication. So he and you actually begin to say, well, if at the first level that there's interest of spark, and then he's asking, that if the two of you can see each other, or begin seeing each other, and then both of you are connected, and you actually begin to like agree, and you start to see him actively. That's as they say they said he and you will begin to see each other actively. He and you are actually working on the type of connection that represents what in the world brings you both in common. You both have your own ideas to bring to the relationship, your own thoughts, and everything that's going on in this space is complementary to how you both meet and how you both, it's like, see yourselves, as a potential couple. So it's like over time, um, there's also these elements of what universe said that you were working on, the sense of like, like being like if really like you said, the history, the past, children, family. You yourself run a very secured, you got business, you got people who count on you, and people who work for you, all of these types of things. And so he understands that as well. So so there's many reasons here why you both find like that, why this is a favorable, the connection that he and you will share. I believe it's a combination of a lot that he and you have a reason to really begin to see that you both are a better match make for each other, and that the way you say, in the sense of, they mentioned something to the effects of rejection or past, and they said that that is what was considered to be a wall or a block, but we know that that is removed. Like there's not a rejection vibration here or being rejected vibration. There's not a what about old wounds and old habit. Not None of that is going to have any weight in the idea that you he and you are meeting each other, meeting someone who is special, who is out of this world, and he's not having, to only to grow what you two are becoming, or becoming more aware of, growing from what you both are becoming even more understandably, can see in each other, could see where, like what was the attraction, what led up to him asking you out and wanting to see you, wanting you to, visit him, wanting to get to know your family, wanting to introduce you to his. All of these scenarios are actually playing out. That helps with where the direction of he and you, will want to go, relationship wise. That's why they gave a very strong indication that no reason to change up the scenarios. No reason to change up the routine. They're keeping the routine because everything you're doing right now is magnetically attracting a very specific type. And it could be definitely the type that you would say, this person somehow managed to, like, check all the boxes. I just need to know this person is real, who he says he is. And then of course we start to realize there's even things that are not on the list that are actually favorable, that are wonderful actually. And it's like, if this guy is real, then this is everything and more that you've ever asked for. That is the feelings. Those are the thoughts that's happening through this exchange. And he does want to, he wants to have a good life. He wants to have a life where, he's able to share the things he has. Most importantly, he really does like taking the things he has and creating special moments with the person that he's in love with, or connected with. That they called that earlier, the one that he commits to, who he dedicates his time with. He pours in, of course, the finances. He pours in, all of the emotional, the heart related things. He's definitely, um, he just understands in terms of communication. I think that's what makes him the communicator, is because of the fact that he listens, and he also reads the room well. Like, he reads you very well, and also very quickly he reads you. So I just have a sense that there's a lot of like characteristics and sides to him that you're going to just sense that is like highly favorable, um, that you actually need right now. I mean, just based on the idea of his and your connection. The other side of this is that, um, like with him, sort of weighing this out, like, see where it goes. Like, he's not, without having anything to offer, is making all of these like demands and requirements. So scratch, it's like we're scratching that out. So it's more like, he knows you have a full on life, and you're doing everything that you want to do, but you have agreed to see him like an additional time or one other time or one more time. And that he goes with that. He says, because that's the time when he's going to say, okay, this is time to show off the qualities that he possesses, to help you to align with him better. Is what I can see. It gives him more reason to turn on his charisma. These kinds of things. That's where he's focusing his energy for sure. Like how he's causing you to select him over, let's say, going this, like, I just want my weekends to myself. Thanks for asking, but I think I got plans. But instead, in reverse, you're saying you will definitely gonna see him, in the weekend, and you both will decide when you get there what the plans are. Those plans are. It's like, okay, well, that's a commitment. We commit to something, he'll take it. So that's no questions asked. He knows he has a very specific window, and then that time he's got to show you who he is. Wonderful qualities. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Interact with people. That seems to be somehow that's coming across as something very important to you. This having a yoga studio. You're saying a yoga studio. But also, with that said, it feels like there also needs to be just a regular studio where people can just on their own come through and work out as well. Maybe there's a regimen. Maybe like you also plan you could plan out people's work day, workout day. Like, right, or have certain days where they need to do certain things on their own, and then they need to join the class, or they need to join you as particular sessions. And you have maybe like a different types of sessions going on happening at the very same time. Like there's yoga studio sessions, then interchangeably there are people who are kind of given assignments to work out, like to work out. So it feels very much like, but the 1,000, it feels like you're meant to do something with a yoga studio specifically. Something. It seems like that is so important. But you also have learned, like, about like work, like the importance of exercise, and that could be through yoga, right? Like you may have, like you've done yoga, and now you keep visualizing ways to utilize workout sessions, something that an average person may not be able to do it maybe extensively like you can, but they could use a portion of that would significantly help their physical wellness, like something like that. It feels like you have learned, like you have kind of expanded your thoughts on in this subject. That goes a little bit beyond just having a yoga studio and that's it. It feels like you have a lot at your disposal, and you're meant to incorporate or utilize both in some form or fashion, with the yoga studio being at the height. It's like that's the most important. I feel the most important seems to be the keepsake. Mm-hmm. Yes. Right. For now, maybe like the yoga, do the yoga bit, the studio, and then another time, like maybe when, like or maybe you'll put together a program to incorporate, but it can still be under the banner of yoga. Like this is yoga, but hey, I thought this exercise routine really might be good for you. So somebody might really need a suggestion from you. They say, okay, they're working out, but still under the banner that it's for my discipline, my yoga experience. Hmm. but because you come across as, I think that you're highly intuitive. I think that you have amazing counselor, like therapeutic type spirit about you. I think that you could, as they say, you have it spiritually and it's monetized in the spirit world. And so I think that you're learning how to make this a part of your life purpose, as they say. I believe that that's 1,000%. Because in fact, yoga goes with your um, I mean, because mind, body, and spirit, that's yoga. That goes very well with your spirituality path work. Yoga does. And you get all of the physical with it. You get the physical, the mental, all of it. The spiritual. Okay. A pleasure. Have a good day. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, so where we at, y'all? Okay, y'all. I'm working overtime. I'm working so hard. Y'all, tap in for 2 minutes to claim. What? They're now willing to pay me to come. They want me to do something. They're really interested in me. Good for them. I have to think about it. Y'all are hilarious. Woo. Okay, okay, what are you talking about? You have another one? Dang. That is going insane. Okay. All right. Let's see. Y'all. Um, okay. Let's browsing feature. Yeah. Through browsing features. So through browsing, they found me. The majority of the people, like, where did all these people come from? What day is it? 1:15. Okay. I'm going to okay, so I'm gonna end it here. I'll come back, you all. I will come back. Um yeah, I'll be back. Uh I'm already ready for the next part of the story.